There was once a time when the main draw to the newest Call of Duty was its dramatic single-player campaigns, but over the years, as broadband connections became more commonplace, the focus shifted to the online multiplayer, and that's where most players start their journey each year. But for those of us who still appreciate their bombastic campaigns and the stories that they tell, there's a decent back catalogue of thrills to get stuck into. Here are the 10 best Call of Duty campaigns, ranked. Number 10. Call of Duty Ghosts. A new console generation birthed a new era of Call of Duty, with all the ups and downs that come with it. Call of Duty Ghosts sees the United States in ruins, new powers rising, and a desperate struggle to avoid being squished under the heel. Ghosts gives players a solid array of set pieces and unique locations to fight through, including a mossy, overgrown America, snow-buried oil facilities, and sunken underwater wreckages. The major downside is an unfortunate cliffhanger ending that players would never see a follow-up to. Still, we got them next-gen fish, didn't we? Number 9. Call of Duty World War II. A return to boots on the ground basics, Call of Duty World War II doubles down on being a Band of Brothers style story in the European theatre of war. The player's squad mates are more than talking bullet sponges, with each fulfilling certain roles in combat to aid the player or perform special tasks, like calling in air support or resupplying ammunition, giving the game a touch of squad mechanic integration to keep things fresh. With fierce firefights, massive bouts of destruction, and a constant change of setting and gameplay style, Call of Duty World War II covers a lot of ground with good pacing and personality. Number 8. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. A new timeline with the same old backstabbing shenanigans. 2022's Modern Warfare 2 hits the expected beats while telling a fresh and original-ish story with a cast of characters that actually have some decent personalities behind them. Modern Warfare 2 brings the heat and keeps players second-guessing with a twisting narrative, exciting shootouts, and some of the best set pieces in the series, as well as some fresh twists to the gameplay. Number 7. Call of Duty 3. Treyarch's first fully fledged Call of Duty was developed in record time, just under a year. Despite the development difficulties, Call of Duty 3 still managed to bring some new perspectives to the tired World War II setting, with vehicle segments that were completely new to the series. Its story is by the numbers warfare gruesomeness, of course, with a mean sergeant just looking out for his boys, and for the most part it delivers on its tale of the brave few pulling off the impossible. Number 6. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. The game that reshaped the industry forever and made shooters set in the modern day the new norm, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare hits on the topics of the times: the war on terror, the threat of misused WMDs, and the fallout of Western interventionism. Modern Warfare is outrageously addictive, with a soundtrack that burrows into the mind, gameplay that captivates and demands constant betterment of the player, and a setting ripe for discussion and thought provocation. From Crew Expendable to the Mile High Club, this campaign will shock, amaze, and engross players with a story that hits close to home in more ways than one. Number 5. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. The world is a button push away from nuclear annihilation, and everyone is racing to come out on top. Open war has swept across Europe as Makarov plots to use Russia's nuclear codes to devastate the West, and the remnants of Task Force 141 have to evade both sides of the war and track down the elusive mastermind. The set pieces are louder, the war zones are bigger, and the controls have never been smoother. The New York Stock Exchange, remote African villages, and the Paris catacombs are just some of the places players are dragged into, and the conclusion to this high-octane trilogy does not fail to impress and satisfy. Number 4. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Infinite Warfare is Star Trek if Michael Bay was in the director's seat, with a single Earth military carrier forced into guerrilla warfare after the people of Mars secede and demolish the fleet in a surprise attack. Players engage in zero-G vacuums, dogfight with enemy fighter craft, and explore asteroids and planetary colonies to sabotage the Martian war effort before Earth is overwhelmed and decimated. With a motley crew and all stakes on the table, the fate of humanity is in the players' hands as they decide when and where to attack and how they're going to approach each mission with a custom loadout. Number 3. Call of Duty Black Ops. Call of Duty Black Ops has everything an action spy thriller should come with for a Cold War period piece. Black Ops is a thought-provoking thrill ride that captivates and shocks, not holding back on showcasing the brutality of clandestine operations and experimental weapons testing, giving the audience a raw look into a dark period of the past. With sharp gameplay, effective weapons, and a variety of locations, Black Ops is a proper espionage piece that shows no one is truly a good person in times of war. Number 2. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Shocking, brutal, and revolutionary, 2009's Modern Warfare 2 is the textbook definition of iconic. With Russia and the United States tricked into all-out war, suburban America, Washington DC, and remote Russian towns are where the action's at, with US Army Rangers and Task Force 141 leading the charge to drive back the advancing Russian war efforts. With shocking and unsettling set pieces, terrifying plot twists, and a soul-touching soundtrack, Modern Warfare 2 is one of the best sequels ever made and one of the grandest action plots ever realised. Number 1. Call of Duty Black Ops 2. What's better than a well-written, bombastic campaign? Well, one where the player has some input. Black Ops 2 has a variety of stories with varying plot twists and outcomes depending on certain decisions made or not made, and many of them aren't even labelled as such, leading first-time players to wild endings that they couldn't have expected. One man can change the world, and Raul Menendez has spent decades building his personal and public connections to become that very man, through any and all violent means necessary. The level of success his long-laid plans end up reaping heavily depends on the player's actions in the past and the present, making Menendez's threat far more personal to the player. For such a successful outing, it's a shame that most future Call of Duty games haven't followed in these interactive footsteps. And that is the end of this video. If your favourite campaign isn't on the list, don't worry, you're not alone, mine isn't on it either. Join me down in the comments and let the world know what's hot and what's not. And while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe and give the bell icon a nudge so that you're notified whenever we've got new videos. I've been Chris, you've been gorgeous, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, cheers my dears.